What is ATSA? First, let's start with Canada. This is Canada, home to 36 million people, 6 million beavers, 1 million moose, and 3 guys named Gus. And yes, they all know each other. Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories, but for now, let's go to Alberta, the province which pays for it all, or used to, anyways. In Alberta, there are 2 main polytechnic schools. One is called the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology, because get this, it's in the south of Alberta, and the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology, because it's in the middle of Alberta? All things being relative, I guess. These schools are called SAIT and NAIT respectively, but not respectfully because, let's be honest, no one takes NAIT seriously. Sorry guys. SAIT, located in Calgary, Alberta, is comprised of 8 colleges or schools with semi-separate administrations. The School of Energy, Business, Construction, Health and Public Safety, Hospitality and Tourism, Manufacturing and Automation, Transportation, and the succinctly named School of Information, Communications and Technology. The School of Construction has 4 full-time diplomas. For you Europeans watching, it's kind of like a technical bachelor's degree, but not really. What are those? You may ask. They are Architectural Technology, Civil Engineering Technology, Engineering Design and Drafting Technology, and Geomatics Engineering Technology, or AT, CVT, EDT, and GNT, because apparently we fail at naming and acronyms. But we want to look at the first of these programs. Architectural Technologies have diverse roles in the industry, but for the most part, they specialize in resolving technical problems in a project and are trained to be as efficient as possible with a wide variety of the most relevant architectural software, which some people think should just be Revit, but I'm all for Team AutoCAD. Hence why, of all the programs at SAIT, we are the only ones with technologies at the end of our program name. Now, with the important preamble out of the way, the Architectural Technologies program has a students association called ATSA, or the Architectural Technologies Students Association. Not to be confused with SAITSA, which is the Student Association for all SAIT students, or ATSA Airlines, which is a Peruvian airline with great service and competitive prices. Product placement. ATSA, like other students associations, has multiple purposes which are not always clear, but generally they can be ranked into 3 broad categories. Represent their members, help their members succeed in the program, and help their members find a job. By representing their members, they usually do this by bringing the concerns and needs of the students to the attention of the administration and faculty. For the second role, they help their members succeed in the program by helping them build connections within the program and within the school, and things like mentoring programs, which ATSA kinda has, sort of. And for the last thing, they help their members find a job by helping them get connected in industry. Who is in ATSA? All these people. And you, technically. Well, if you are in AT, you are technically a part of ATSA. You can vote on the members of the executive and propose or oppose policy. But you probably meant the executive team, since this is the mechanism through which all the stuff ATSA is supposed to do actually happens. So here we're just going to focus on them. At the top we have the president, or sometimes 2 and sometimes 3, but usually 2. Unless the third one joins partway through the year, which never happens. Often. It changes from year to year, but generally most positions are held as a partnership to encourage cooperation and to split the workload, just like the consuls in the ancient Roman Republic, which was a historic success. The presidents have the job of setting policy for the executive and directing the executive to fulfill those 3 goals we talked about earlier. Next we have the treasurer, the guy with all the monies, like $26.70. Unless the role is vacant, which again never happens often. The treasurer's job is to keep ATSA financially accountable, which might sound boring until you forget one of the largest programs at SAIT by a long shot is accounting. Hypocrites. The social media coordinators have the job of sharing information on the platforms most relevant to the students, to keep them up to date and to promote social networking, which is the excuse we always use for being on our phones, and yes, it's a legitimate reason, Mom, besides it's cold outside. After all that, we have the event coordinators, whose job is to promote social networking in the real world. Scary, I know, but hear me out. Unfortunately, some jobs require talking to people in person, so these events provide a platform for that, both within the program and industry. The fundraising coordinators have the most thankless job, and yet probably one of the most important ones, as they pretty much make the rest of it possible. I mean, without the fundraising coordinators, Industry Night would most likely be hosted in the printing room, which would be a disaster because the room is never unlocked when it's supposed to be. Sorry. The job of the volunteer coordinator is to cleverly combine the roles of the event coordinators and fundraising team. Get you involved for free! mostly in the form of unpaid labor. Which, if you think is unfair, I will remind you, you pay money to do homework, so paying nothing in an event where you might get the chance to strike up a conversation with an industry professional and possible future employer doesn't sound half bad. The merchandiser's job is to organize the production, distribution, and financing of that sweet, sweet ATSA swag. So that person gets to put experienced in logistical production and commercial coordination on their LinkedIn account. Damn. They also coordinate the logo design competition each year, which we can't call a logo competition for some reason, but that's what it basically is. And they tend to work very closely with the treasurer. Next, we have the photographer. I hope I don't need to explain the role of the photographer. Despite it being a very simple job, it is still a demanding one and provides most of the visual content for the website, blog, and social media platforms ATSA uses. ATSA also kind of has a videographer, but just don't call him the ATSA videographer. Instead, he is just the guy who films videos for ATSA. Yeah, we'll go with that. There, all done. But no, wait, we forgot the apprentices. Just like ATSA does every year. But each position usually has 2 apprentices, and the apprentices are usually first-year students who are guided through the semester learning sorcery and the wisdom of the elders until they are ready to face the challenge of... Sorry, what was that? Oh. Apparently they don't do any of that stuff. But they are trained to take over their respective coordinators' jobs when they graduate, to provide continuity from year to year, and it is kind of the closest thing ATSA has to a mentoring program for now. So that is ATSA, its roles and responsibilities, and its structure. It's an association that sometimes has done its job better than others, but it has often had the reputation of being useless or irrelevant, and to be honest, there have been times where that has been partly true. So does ATSA do its job effectively? That is hard to say, but if you think it doesn't, and you know how to make it better, why haven't you gotten involved? Anyways, thanks for listening, take care, and I'll see you next week. Oh, and the activities coordinator is a made-up position. The end.